let's talk about goals. So everything's full of talk about goals right now. Lots of people saying, I don't even want to set them. Other people saying, here's how to set them to do well, and a lot of things. So I just thought I'd throw in a couple of thoughts that I think are valuable around this area that makes goals significantly easier to achieve. First off, I want to start with something that a leader of my church, his name was Carlos E. Asay, said about his dad, what his dad taught him about goals. So we're like 3 times removed, but I think it's really good. His dad and then he had 3 rules around goals. Number 1, have them. Have goals. Number 2, and this is the one that everyone goes, what? Number 2, you can change your goals at any time. One of the challenges that we have is we sit down and we set this goal and we think that we've just committed ourselves and so all we can do is fail or achieve that goal. Well, you know what? There is the third option, which is you can change that goal. You can say, I really don't want that as badly as I thought I did at the time that I set that goal. But the number 3 is the most important one, which is, so have them, you can change them, but number 3 is always be actively working on achieving whatever goal that you currently have. This right here is what makes the difference. Because what oftentimes happens is people set a goal, they discover it's hard, so they stop because all they can do is succeed or fail on that goal. And instead of that, change it to something that you can then achieve and actively be working on. So I wanted to throw that out there because I think that's a really, really powerful concept that will help you in your goals because it helps you, that perspective, that mindset helps you set goals in a better way and actively achieve them. Okay, number 2 principle about goals. Many people, their goals are trying to get rid of a bad habit. And I want to bring up 2 concepts about that. The first one is this. It took you years, oftentimes, to create that bad habit, that addiction, whatever, to really cement it into your system. Why in the world are you so frustrated that 3 days later you're not permanently rid of it? It's just, it just does not make sense to me. So that's the first concept with habits, is that habits are a tough thing to break. And so the second piece, and so this is the third piece about goals, second piece about bad habit, is, hey, don't just try to stop bad habits. You'll inevitably fail. Instead of trying to stop doing them, replace them with something that is more desirable. So if you have a habit that at the end of every meal, you need to go have a smoke, well, that's a trigger, the trigger at the end of the meal. Go read Atomic Habits. Go read one of the several different books about goals, about habits, and it will show you that triggers are incredibly powerful things. And so what you've got to do is you've got to start rewriting that trigger to something else. And so instead of focusing on just gutting it out and not going outside and taking that cigarette, instead it's like, okay, what habit do I create that is triggered by the end of the meal? And so what can I then replace that bad habit with? So this gets to the fourth concept of goal setting, which is this. I actually believe that replacing bad habits is a really bad goal. I see almost everybody's list of goals are replacing bad habits and make more money. And it's like, you're pretty much doomed to failure as you do that. And so I suggest you do not set goals to stop bad habits. Instead, I like to have the best goals are something that accomplishes something. So publish 50 new blog posts during the year. Publish 100 new YouTube videos during the year. Figure out how to make advertising profitable on this product. Launch this product by March 1st. Notice none of those are get rid of this old addictive habit that's been with you for years. Each one of them are saying, here's something I'm going to do. Those are much more powerful than stop doing something else, because they're much more likely to actually be achieved. Which brings us to the fifth concept about goals, which is take your goals and break them into pieces. And this is one reason why getting rid of bad habits is such a bad goal, because the best goals take, so let's say you say, okay, I'm going to launch by March 1st. All right, what are the 22 steps or the 5 steps or the 122, whatever it is, what are the steps I've got to take to get there? And then your goal is no longer this, I got to have this make $1 million. Instead of that, it's my goal is, my action to take today is to check this one off the list, because then I can go on to the next one, check it off the list. And so break it into pieces, then it becomes a to-do list as opposed to something just sitting out there in the future. Okay, 5 concepts about goals. Each one of them makes goals easier to achieve. What's your experience with goals? What makes it easier for you to achieve them? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.